So, Frank, where was you at the other day? The Katie, my girlfriend. Oh, you was with your girlfriend. See, I love you. You a nice guy. Well, thank you. Thank you for telling me I'm a nice guy. Yeah, I knew that. I'm not a bad, in fact, I'm not a bad looking fella. No. Oh, so you agreed with it, didn't you? Yes. Oh, thank you very much. Well, you know, there was some things you wanted to ask me about. The Ark. The Noah's Ark? Yeah. You talked about it the other day. Oh yeah, Noah's Ark. Well, you see, that was way back um, from the time of Adam and Eve. 2,000 years had passed. And you know what? Wickedness had set in. They had their children. Cain and Abel was the first two. Well, Abel was killed by his brother. Cain fled into the land of Canaan, which I think is named by him. But anyway, Cain had murdered he was the first one that murdered anybody. It was all because of what? Sin. There you're just about a preacher. No, you ain't no preacher yet. You're not no preacher yet. You see, when I'm talking to you, I'm looking in the, I want to look and see in the camera. I want to look and see what's going on. But anyway, you want to know about the flood. Noah's Ark. Well, you see, things got so wicked, so out of place, so out of shape. God said, we're going to destroy everything. I'm going to, speaking of himself, we who? Well, you see, the Father and the Son. Everything that has breath, I'm going to go ahead and destroy everything. I hate, well, he don't, the visible form of God could say, I hate that all this has happened. But God the Father in the midst of the Son, which, you know what the Father is. Spirit. The Spirit is a spirit. John 4:24. God is invisible, and he's got Jesus in his glory to be seen through. So you see, there's the fact. It says, I and my Father are one. We are together. Now it's the fact that Jesus living in us. Jesus living in whoever it may pertain to. Whoever receives him. So you want to know about Noah and the ark? Yeah. Well, wickedness had set in. Everything was evil, evil continually. 2,000 years had gone by. And God looked over and saw a man that respected him, that loved God, that lived. He wasn't in with the evil stuff. And so God spoke to Noah. God spoke to Noah. And Noah he was an old man. How old? 500 years old. Who's his daddy? Oh, his daddy was, I think, at Lamech. But anyway, God spoke to Noah. And he was, as I told you his age. As I told you his age. Remember what I said? Yeah, 100 years old. You said it right. 500 years old. That's a, would you call that a long time? Yes, sir. I don't live like that. Well, if you do, live for Jesus. Yeah, okay. If you live to be 500 years old, no, hope not. Hurry, you don't get that old. Because Jesus might come before you get five. Well, It's good that we don't linger that long, I guess, you know. But anyway, he was 500 years old, and he loved God. But then you know what? You know what happened? God said to Noah, I want you to build me an ark. You know what an ark is, don't you? Yeah, a big boat. A big boat. Yeah, a big boat. A big boat. Well, a big boat. Make it out of gopher wood, 500 feet long. How wide? 75 feet wide. Aha! 45 feet. And then he said, I want you to build it, fix it out of gopher wood, put a big door on the side, and pitch it with pitch. It's some kind of sealer thing he had then. The earth was so rich, we don't know him. They might have made their, what you call, homemade stuff. But we don't know how he did it. But he fixed it. It sealed it up. What do we use for sealer these days? Silicone. Silicone. Around the windows and the doors and whatever. Small areas. We use little objects. Silicone. And mortar mix. That's another one, Frank. Yeah. Mortar mix. To seal the bricks together. But anyway, what is it? Getting back to the spot. He made it. He said, make 3 floors in it. 3 floors. Yeah. Oh. How much is each floor? You mean how tall are they each? From the bottom to the top? Yeah. Well, how would you do that? You'd say, let's see. I know, let's see. I had it. 3 times 45? No, you don't say 3 times it. You're making it bigger. Divide it. 3 into 45 makes what? 15 feet. 15 feet. Yeah. 15 feet from the floor to the top of the roof. Each one. You know, to make floors, you have to have 2 wide, long partitions. Each floor. I'm sure they was firmly made. Sure it was. And from one floor to another, how you gonna get up there? Make steps. Make steps. Stairs from one vicinity to the other. Because they going to have food for the animals in there. See, they're going to bring the animals in with them. How? Two, male and female of the unclean animals, and 7 male and female, 7 of the clean animals. Why? Why 7? Why 7? Why? Oh, well, you see, Fred, it's like this. I said Fred, I mean Frank. You know I get your names mixed up. You know why I get the names mixed up? Because I used to work with Fred. I helped him get lined up for the work, the ministry. He's working with Barney now. So we hear Frank. 7 was for the purpose. 7 was for the purpose that when they made sacrifices on the altar, they would have to have some extra ones and still have enough to replenish the earth. Okay. Now you know. Well, so much for that. It didn't make no difference about the unclean because they're not going to be sacrificed. Male and female of all of them. And so it all happened. People, they laughed about it. Oh, you talking about what? It's going to rain, man. It's going to rain. Water's going to fall from the sky. Drops of water fall from the sky. That's rain. Right. Right. You know that? Yeah. You open your mouth like you're fixing to say something, but you didn't say it. Oh, no. I do that once in a while. Well, I do too. Sometimes I don't even say anything. Anyway, so much for that. We love to be funny with each other. I can tell you something. I won't say it now. I'll wait until later. And I know on the other videos, but it's gonna be great. The funny, humorous types. Oh yeah. But the thing about it is, the people they made fun. They laughed because water always come up from the bottom. It always came up from the earth to water all the vegetables. And but they for them to water to come out of the sky. It was they think he's crazy. Oh, they must have thought he was out of his mind, man. You ever seen but he got it built. But you know it. Now he's like I said, he was 500 years old when God spoke to him. Did he do it right then? Oh, he might have. Yeah. Well, now you don't know for sure, Frank. You don't know for sure if he did it right then or not. He might. I think he tried to he figured out how he was going to get it all together. But anyway, it was 100-year deal. And he spoke to the people. He spoke, talked, did all kind of stuff. Tell them all kind of stuff. It's going to rain. God's going to destroy the earth. Now, they might have been religious. What you call it? Religion. Organizations. That's bad. Organizations. If God is not in it, if He's not leading it, it's bad. Well, it all turned out that oh, what you looking for? Nothing. Just stretching your neck. But anyway, it all turned out that Noah preached, talked to him, and I guess it was an area of about 100 years or so. I guess getting it all together and doing things right. And time he preached, we don't know what the civilization was like, but the word got out everywhere. This man is preaching to us and telling us rain's gonna fall from heaven. It's gonna flood the earth. Who's ever heard such a thing as that? See, they didn't know about rain back then, like before all this all happened. But the word got out. So the time had come. Okay, the animals marched in. They came up. He probably built a ramp. Um, what's that? I know. But what do you say? A ramp. Is that how they got inside? Yeah, they got inside because the ramp that was built up to the door, and they walked inside. He round them up. He didn't. I don't think he had to round them up. Because God had ordered them to come in to the ark, two of each kind. But you see, the species wasn't like they are today. Before the flood, now that night it's spoken of that there's only two kinds of species of dogs in the days of Jesus. Now I don't know. I've read that somewheres, but it all came about like male and female, two monkeys. Might have caused a lot of different other kind of monkeys too. I don't know how this all happened, but see, God said, "Do it," and it happened. And you know why it happened? God's word said it would. God's word said it would. The Bible said it would. Yeah. Well, so far the rain came. 40 days and 40 nights. It rained, rain, Right. Well, you see, one thing I say, first, when the door was shut, do you think Noah shut the door? Oh, yeah, I guess so. No, he didn't shut the door. Who did? God shut the door. God shut the door because if Noah had shut the door and they'd have banged on the door, it's raining out here. It's raining, pouring down. We believe you. We believe let us in. You know, he could have been merciful and went ahead and let him in. But the door, even Noah wouldn't have been able to open it because God had shut the door. Let him know on the outside you had your chance. Time is up now. It's over with you. But you see, if they had if said, well, there's a lot of things that happened. I'm sure a lot of them cried out. Well, there'll be enough room. Get all the guys and stuff. That's the idea. God would have made room. He could have expanded the wood, the 450 feet. He could have stretched it and made it bigger, couldn't he? Just like he did the 5,000 men. Jesus did it. You know that. It's good. Preach to you. I'm not preaching to you. It's good. I'm a witness for the Lord. If the Lord speaks to me and tells me something, Frank, I'm gonna. If He reveals to me and lets me know something other, I'm gonna go ahead and go through with it. And that's the way you always should do. See, you're gonna learn a lot. You might be like Fred. No. Well, I mean, as far as if the Lord was to call you to preach, would you do it? Yeah. Okay. We can't be like, I get your point. We can't be like each other, right? No, you can't. I'm not like him. I'm, I, why would you say you're not like him? You don't look as good as I do. Oh, no. He has a wig. You told me about that before. He had a wig. But you have your natural hair, don't you? Oh, it's all right. Thank you. You have your natural hair. Oh, it's better to have the real stuff. Well, anyway, getting to the point. It rained and it rained and it rained. Time passed on. 40 days it stopped. It finally stopped. How long did it last? 40 days? How long was it in there? Well, the time that it was in there was, I'll tell you, it was about 150 days. That's almost a half a year. 350 days in 365 days in a year out of 150. That's just about like almost a half a year. But the waters went down. A raven was put out. He went around. A raven is an unclean bird. You know a raven. They're kin to the ones we have these days. Buzzards. You see eating dead things on the side of the road. Let's call them scavengers. What's that? A scavenger? Yeah, a scavenger. Oh, that's they eat dead stuff. I'm glad I'm not one. But anyway, if you was one of them, you'd probably like it, And of course, let the raven out. He flew away. He didn't come back. Now something had to happen. I just said to myself. Well, he probably landed on some of the dead bodies floating around, or the animals, or whatever, and They had their feast. Well, something like that took place. But anyway, later on, which I'd say about a week or so, a little while later, um, Noah let out a dove. He went out, the dove flew around, come back in. No place to land. No place to land at all. No sticks to land on. No home ground. So David returned. Well, again, 7 days later, let him out again. And you know what happened? He found an olive leaf. Brought it back. Oh, then 7 days later passed. Let him out again. The dove never returned. He found a place to stay. Don't you think so? Yes. Probably did. Well, yeah, he did, because he would have come back if he hadn't. And then they stayed around the tanks, and I can finally just all the boat settled, everything hit. The ground's dried up. They got out. Everything, let the animals out, let them get started again. You know what the first thing Noah did? Oh, what? He built an ark under God. Blood sacrifice. See, that was what I was talking about. The 7 clean animals. Well, he probably used one of them, so they only had 6 more left, right? Yeah. Okay. But a blood sacrifice. And then he thanked God that everything had turned out right. Everything was good. They could everything could be raised up again, replenishing the earth. And then one thing, do you remember what the God promise was? Rainbow. No, the rain. Is it rainbow? The rainbow was put up there in the sky to promise that he will not flood the earth again. But the next time, what will he do? He will destroy it, not with water. He said, I will not destroy it with water or flood again. I will not destroy the earth with a flood again. Next time it will be by F-I-R-E. You know what that is? Fire. Fire indeed. But that hadn't completely happened. So let's all make sure we're living right and be what God would want us to be. Because the time is coming. The time is coming. Shem, Ham, and Jethel Shem, Ham, and Jethel and their wives, and Noah and his wife. You see, that was only 8 people out of all the multitude. Many are called, but few are chosen. So nice talking with you. I'll see you. Yeah. Well, I'll see you too. We'll talk to you later. Bye. We all love you.